dehydration. We even heard about positional asphyxiation, the bruises and the scarring, the suffering and pain. 30 minutes past before the ambulance came. I find it all insane to beat and kill for sport. It took 5 months to get the autopsy report. The coroner, the cops, and the fucking state's attorney knew my cousin was dead before they put him on the gurney. No pity. My message to the Citizens Committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, dope spots. What about these road cops? Pity. My message to the Citizens Committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, dope spots. What about these road cops? Deceiving the public is something closer to impossible. Phony autopsy, but we know it wasn't logical. Highly improbable, undetermined manner. I like the way you doctored up the code across the scanner. Your signal 13 sounded staged and unfinished. Your life was being threatened, not a single fucking blemish on any of the officers involved in the murder of Tyrone West. Man, that shit is unheard of. Let's go a step further. Examine all the evidence. 10 lying cops against the truth of all the residents. Cell phone footage, live interviews. I'm extra disappointed in the puppets from the news. Afraid to dig deeper, their information shoddy. 5 whole days until my family saw his body. No statement from the cops, but they spoke with their attorney. They know they killed my cousin when they put him on the gurney. No pity. My message to the Citizens Committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, dope spots. What about these road cops? Pity. My message to the Citizens Committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, dope spots. What about these road cops? They didn't notify my family, we saw it on the news. The one that saw a green Mercedes Benz and got confused. They talking about a man dying in police restraint. She saw her tag numbers and his cars to the face. That can't be my brother Ty, I was just with him. Not even 30 minutes before he became a victim. She had a funny feeling, kinda like a sixth sense. Her back started aching, her muscles got tense. She couldn't understand all the pain she was going through. Like they ripped the soul out his body, he was showing you everything that happened to him, transmigration. He made you feel his pain before his final destination. They took away his father, cousin, grandson, and brother, uncle and nephew, but I feel sorry for my mother, cause she became his mom when my aunt passed away. We're stronger as a family, but she cries every day. No pity. My message to the Citizens Committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, dope spots. What about these road cops? Throw up your hands like you're under arrest. Hell nah. Throw up your fists like you want protest. Hell yeah. Throw up your hands like you're under arrest. Hell nah. Throw up your fists like you want protest. Hell yeah.
We've been fighting a long time, and we've all lost so very much. So many loved ones gone. You are not alone. There are pockets of resistance all around. We are at the brink. Above all, stay alive. You have no idea how important you are. Are you listening to this? You are the resistance.
Mic check, mic check. This is West Wednesday number 434. We're calling for justice for all victims of police violence and accountability for the death of Tyrone West. Mic check, mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
What?
Check. So just like my own brother Ben just said, this is West Wednesday, this is week 434. That's a very long time to be fighting for accountability, not just for my big brother Tyrone, but literally for all the victims of police brutality and or murder. And I come today with a heavy heart because so much is going on. And as you saw the video that showed my brother case or whatever, the rap that my cousin pretty much made about my brother, everything in that rap was true, and it just broke my heart when I noticed my cousin Tavon Anderson in the video when he was testifying at the committee. We were at City Hall. We had the resolution hearing, and it just really breaks my heart to actually know that my brother or my cousin is no longer here. It's just really sad and disgusting. But again, I have a lot on my mind tonight, and first of all, I want to thank everyone for supporting my sister and our brother, Timothy Flemings. That's the sister, my sister Angela Flemings, That's her brother. But again, I say our brother because we're all brothers and sisters. And you know, he was brutally murdered right in his family's house. And it's just really sad. And I know that the babies were still left and his wife were still left living in their home. And we did West Wednesdays outdoor last week, which was really great. And I'm just want to give everybody kudos and props because I know, you know, times are hard, but everybody that supported, that just shared, that prayed for our family, whatever, which way that you help, and on a campaign for Timothy Fleming's children to be having money to be able to move. I just want to give you guys a big thank you. And the GoFundMe goal was to raise $3,000, and thank God we're in overflow. I think it's at $3,150 right now. But just thank you guys again. But I'll be really thankful when those babies get a good night of rest, like on the road to recovery. Because at the end of the day, even though thank God they will be moving from that home, it's still a long road to recovery. And I'm just thinking about myself being a grown woman who lost my brother, and I'm still not over, never will be over traumatized, still have nightmares, and I wasn't even in the space where my brother was murdered. You know, it's just sad, like, nobody family deserves to be in this club that we never asked for. And it really gets harder as we approach these holidays. It's hard every day, but as I'm thinking of next week, next Thursday, is Thanksgiving. And our family members won't be at the end of our table to actually give thanks and just enjoy. And my brother, he really loved Thanksgiving. He loved Thanksgiving, and Christmas was his two favorite holidays, but he was all around the way God had loved all the holidays. He made the best out of each and every last one of them. He always loved to celebrate. He loved celebrating life. He always, like, even though I call it the 4th of July, because, you know, that's not when we became free or whatever, but that's a whole nother thing. But he even, like, just celebrating that holiday was doing, like, you know, like a cookout type of thing, and just being around family. Anytime to spend with his children, with my family, he loved it. And just to actually think that this year again, there's table spots that are going to be empty. My brother will no longer be at our table, which, like I said, it's going on 9 years of missing him, 9 years of us grieving and just can't even get it together. And I actually, when I came to the house, my intentions was to go grab me something to eat, but then I just thinking about him and then looking at the picture that Anson painted on me kind of triggered me, and I just started crying, and all I was able to do was eat a piece of my daughter's birthday cake, the last slice. But nevertheless, it's just sad. You guys don't know how hard it is to grieve and go through what we got to go through, and then still be active in your community, still go to work, still, you know, try to do things to uplift and help people. But again, I just want to thank everybody that supported our sister Queen Angela and her family, the family of Timothy Fleming. And at the end of the day, I know how it feels to lose a loved one, a brother. And that's why me and my sister bond so hard, because I know that feeling. And then as we go through the holidays, I remember when my brother was murdered in July, and here it, you know, we had to go through Thanksgiving without not having this autopsy report. You kill a murder man in the summertime, and then you wait 2 days before Christmas, 2 days to literally give my family some disappointing, heartbreaking news. And then I think before Thanksgiving, they told us some other horrible news, but it wasn't an autopsy report. But their timing is immaculate. They like to discourage our family members right before these holidays, and it's just sad and disgusting. And I want to give a big shout out to my sister Amanda, who's actually been fighting for her brother. And it's just so sad that Alex Flores was actually murdered in Los Angeles, and they're coming up on their 2-year commemoration. I believe it's the 19th or the 18th. It's coming up, and we just got to keep her family in prayers and thank God. And that's the part that I'm so happy about. If I don't get nothing else out of nothing that we do, just to know that the work that we're doing is not in vain, that it's opening up this thing that we're seeing that's going around the world. Like literally people that, first laughed at my family for actually being out there. And they're like, why you guys out there in the rain? Why you guys out there? And just like I told them, hey, they don't look at the weather when they murder us, right? So I don't give a damn if it's raining, a snowstorm, a blizzard. I don't care if it's 1,000 people or 2 people. We're going to be out there. No questions asked. Because I am my brother's keeper. And not only am I my brother's keeper, we're there for all the victims of police brutality and murder. And it's just sad and disgusting, but what I was saying was, just to know that they're doing a Flores Friday in their hometown where he was murdered at. So they're not letting it go either. So when people see that, and just like I think about Stephon Clark, may he rest in peace. And I love his family, his beautiful grandmother, his brother, just the whole family, his mom. I love all those guys. And just to know that they do a Stephon Clark Sunday, and they told me the reason why they do it is because they see the work that I have been doing for all the time, not just me, but that we as a coalition, we as my family, that we are doing. People are watching that, like all around the world. They expected us to actually turn up for a month or two and then just let it die. I will never stop fighting. I will never stop until my coffin drops. I said it. I'm never gonna stop. And if I could come back and haunt those bastards after the fact, I'm gonna be there. Trust and believe me. So it don't stop. That's what our children are for. They will carry on our loved one legacy. That is my job. That was my big brother. He was like a father. They don't know what they took from my family. And I just sat back and, like I said, I got triggered off, just looking at the beautiful painting that Anson did, and a beautiful gift that the Helleback family gave me. They actually purchased, the picture of my brother, and it's joyful, but at the same time it's hard because my brother should be here painting, and I think it's more hard for me because my brother was an upcoming inspiring artist. Like he could draw anybody, and our family was actually working on getting him his art gallery so that way he could draw and paint. And in between that, he was working really hard. He was dedicated to working at his job, his 9-to-5 job. And he was like, oh man, since that'd be heaven on earth, if I'd be able to paint. And if he could do the stuff that Anson can do, that Anson is doing, I just wish that I could rewind the hands of time and have my brother still here and connect him and Anson. Because all he needed was that connection. But that's never going to happen. So this is sad. But moving right on. Another thing that's burning my heart, one of my friends named Kevin, and that's why sometimes I'll get on Facebook, the other times I don't even want to get on Facebook because you never know in these days and times we're living in, you never know what news you're going to hear. And I think when I came from Alaska and I said I had a good feeling like something good was going to happen, and God spoke to my heart, and it was about the fundraiser, that everything was going to be okay on that end. And I'm glad that happened for my sister because her and her family deserve way more than that. For one, we shouldn't have even done a fundraiser. For one, this city should have enough respect just off the top to say, you know what? Let's go and take care of those babies and that family. Let's go relocate them. Let's get them healing. Do they need counsel? We're going to start. They have all the funds, and especially now, this pandemic, they have overflow of funds, but they're they giving out dollars to whoever they want to give out, and they damn sure ain't us. And it's sad and disgusting. It's just horrible. And the only way that they want to give you any money is if you sell the soul to the devil. I guess I'm going to be broke forever because I'm not selling my soul. I guess I'm going to be robbing Peter, working my 9-to-5 forever. But I'm not selling my soul, and I'm not selling our brothers and sisters out. There's no way in hell. All the money in the world could not make me sell my soul. I wouldn't even be able to sleep right at night. So, but another thing, as I was saying, I'm sorry I'm all over the place scrambling, but that's just how my mind is. It is what it is. But my friend Kevin just lost his auntie. Could you imagine losing your 69-year-old auntie that went to work at a church? This beautiful queen that could have been somebody's grandmother literally lost her life inside of a church, stabbed to death. And when I say these are beyond the time and the days that I never ever thought I would see, and kind of sad that I am seeing, you know, I thank God that I'm alive, but seeing the stressful, horrible stuff, you actually see a woman, an elderly woman, y'all, somebody, grandmother, mother, you know, a queen in a church. And we ain't talking about, we talking about here in my city. We talking about, I done met the Reverend before. We done did like, I think the last time I was at the church when I was voting. I was over there voting or whatever, but it's just sad and disgusting. You know, I remember times growing up, we walked past the church, we would, if we said potty words such as the word hell, we'd be like, oh my God, God forgive me. We were ready to repent for our sins and everything. We wouldn't dare cuss in front of a church. Now you got them going inside of a church, murdering something. You know, it's just horrible. When I think about my sister, one son was murdered at a church. He was going to a funeral. Fred, our hero. Never forget Fred. That's our hero. He lost his life saving someone. And then you got a killer cop, an undercover killer cop, pulling up, murdering him. Like, are you freaking kidding me? And then they took all along the pretty much justice delayed, justice denied type of thing so they could cover their hind parts. And that's what they do. And another thing that's bothering me, that's weighing on my heart is, you know, it's the end of the commemoration of Detective Suter, who was actually gunned down in cold blood by his own. And you guys met our Pastor Steve Turner, my warrior brother, and he said he almost was a Detective Suter. He said how a prostitute had to actually put him on point and say, look, don't go to that call. You're going to get a call tonight where they're going to take your life because you done went on the wrong side. You went on the right side of accountability. You literally spoke up and did something, the unthinkable, by speaking up and doing right. So, you know what they did. It's like they're pretty much sexually assaulting the women that work for the department and put rats on the side of their desk. It's like they ran our brother Joe Crystal out because he was a good officer. Detective Joe Crystal, he could have been Sean Suter. And that's why I admire him every day, and I see him and still see that he's alive and doing well. He got the hell out of Baltimore. And I salute him for doing that. I salute him for doing that. And I'll be bringing them on this year. I promise you guys. I've been sort of set up a time or whatever, but it's definitely going to come up for this year, and I will be having him on. But nevertheless, Detective Suter, and keep in mind, when he was murdered, he was supposed to, let's be clear, he was supposed to testify when a gun trace task force, and immediately his wife and family said that immediately once he got, became the detective, whatever, he was quickly, I guess, promoted to be a part of the gun trace task force, which from day one, he saw stuff that he didn't like. He saw something. He saw the corruption. They never said that he was a suspect. He was a witness. He was going in to testify as a witness. They didn't arrest him or whatever. And now they want us to believe, with our own common sense and knowing how cruddy they are, right? They want us to believe that he committed suicide. You know, they were planting guns, drugs on everybody, and all this horrible stuff. In the same way, let's go back to talking about planting guns. The same way Keith Davis Jr. has been framed, and this man has been tried beyond belief, and they're still going after an innocent man. And you have our state's attorney to actually go, and Marilyn Mosey go and go publicly and say, oh my goodness, with this other man that just got exonerated, right? And say, you know what, I'm against it. And you dragging Keith. You dragging Keith. How dare you go and stand and play the role? But you know what it is, what it is. You played the role like you were going to get accountability for Freddie Gray, and you couldn't even get one conviction, but yet you go repeatedly after Keith Davis Jr. And not only Keith Davis Jr., it is just sad and sickening to me that you know all the evidence that was placed upon your desk that I gave you. Thank God for Ryan Dorsey, who set up the meeting, who you actually made sat downstairs and you sent me up by myself. And then you thought he was going to leave. You thought we wasn't going to connect the dots and see each other. But I serve a good God. That when you guys don't have my back, God always has my back. God directs my path and directs my steps. Okay, so let's be crystal clear. That day when Ron Dorsey set up this meeting, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a meeting that my own entire family couldn't go to. It was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I need my family. But I'm like, okay, well, even though I didn't know Ron Dorsey, he was already in office as a council person, in my district. But I'm like, you know what? Okay, cool. Let's see what's going to happen type thing. Long story short, when I get there, he's downstairs. I go in there. It's Merlin Mosby. It was Stacy Noellen, and it was what's that white lady? I cannot think of her name, but it was all three of them. Jane Balexo, if I'm not mistaken. Miss Balexo, Stacy Noellen, and Merlin Mosby. And when I went, I'm looking for Ron Dorsey. I'm already by myself. And the first thing she said, well, look, H1, she's searching me like I'm getting strip searched by the police, like unzipping in I had on a blazer, unbuttoning my blazer. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I want to make sure you're not recording this. And I'm like, why would I be recording this? She's like, oh, well, and she said, first of all, I just want to tell you that just like I stood by Freddie Gray family, and I didn't want nobody to exploit their family. I would never let nobody exploit or use their family for their own propaganda. I'm doing the same exact thing for you guys. And I'm like, okay, what? Like, what's going on type of thing. She said, well, Ryan Dorsey, the one that was supposed to something to me, she said, I had to pretty much dismiss him. I said, wow. She said, because before you got on here, he couldn't wait to exploit your family. He's all like going online, saying all this stuff about the West family, this, that. And I'm like, I thought he said full stuff. And I'm like, it did, but I knew that it didn't feel right. I'm like, what did he say? She's like, well, I'm not going to get into details. But I knew, because my thing is, once I know your character, nobody can just come up and say what they want to say and tell me bullcrap about you. So I'm already like scratching my head, like, no, this can't be true. Long story short, we go on to the meeting, and I'm like, go by the information type of thing. Long story short, I do everything. I'll let you guys know. She said, I'm gonna be honest, my hands are kind of tired because it didn't happen on my tenure. And I'm pretty much saying that, okay, regardless of what tenure it happened on, there's no statute limit murder, so what are you talking about? I understand, but let me look at this up and I'll get back to you. So whatever you're going to do, please just get back to me and let me know if you are going to do something or if you're not. Pretty much justice delayed is justice denied. She have not got back to me. I done heard he say, she said, I'm going off of none of that. All I want her to do at this moment, you ain't even got to meet up with me at this point, sis. All you got to do, write it down in black and white. You can send a notation to my
It's
mail.
7 o'clock.
I get one of the West Coalition members to come pick the note up. However you want to do it. Write it in black and white and say, hey, I'm not going to prosecute it so I can move forward. That's all you got to do. Don't hold this process up. And again, I'm telling you guys, I am not going to let her hold this process up. And you will not go into 2022. You will not go into 2022 not addressing this serious issue. Either you are or you're not. It's just as simple as that. If you're not, say you're not. I want it in black and white. We can move on. So again, I'll be telling you guys next steps. And for me, accommodate that. It's still the Doug and Pony show, and I'm sick of it. But again, we got to do better. And just again, sorry for scrambling. But again, keep my brother Kevin in your prayers, because again, his aunt was murdered in cold blood in a church where she worked. Like, this is disgusting. Like, if you volunteer, you work at a church, you put your time and dedication, the most safe place. We're not safe at church. We're not safe walking down the street. We're not safe in our children's school. We're not even safe in our own home. Timothy Clemens. Not even safe in your own home. We're not safe giving somebody a ride. Tyrone West. We're not safe in our own home. Corinne Gaines. We're not safe. Where are we safe at? Again, we're not safe in church. Fred. Okay? I can go on the list, go in his own home, gunned down, holding nothing but a broom. Or broom, not even a broom, I think it was a dustpan. I'm sorry, a dustpan. Holding a dustpan. You got a baby holding a damn dustpan that's going through a mental health crisis because 2 of his family members were killed in a car crash. And at the time, his mother, Greta, she pretty much was a correctional officer. So what would you not do? You would think in that mind, let me call my sisters and brothers in blue. I'm a correctional officer. Let me call them. My son is having a tantrum type of thing. Let me call them. Maybe they can just talk to him, my baby. Nothing's going to happen. And then you kill a baby in cold blood right in front of his mother's face. So it's a lot of stuff we got to unwrap and talk about tonight, but I'm gonna check in with everybody. I can go on all night. And last but not least, before we move this train, I just heard, like, I'm at work and I get a notification across my phone that the 2 murderers that killed Malcolm X in cold blood is being exonerated. Like, these are the times, truly, for real. Like, you can't make this stuff up. So again, keep Detective Suter's family at heart, and they quickly just said the other day that his case is closed, that the findings, but as they're saying this out of his mouth, the family is still saying that the case is not closed. Even his attorney that was getting on the phone calling Detective Suter that day before, seconds before his brains was blown out with his own weapon, right? Even before, he called him, right, as a witness, not a suspect, as a witness, to testify against Jenkins and those corrupt people, right? And he was just called. He had already said, he had already put in complaints saying that he wanted to be transferred. This was already in black and white. He put it in, I don't feel safe, I don't want to be looking like a rat, like, I want to be moved. Like, once they put him in that squad, and he saw all the corruption and all this kind of stuff, he's like, I don't want to be a part of this. And then that day that they expect for us to believe that he murdered himself, keep in mind, guys, his son had just gotten married in Jamaica, so you can know what the atmosphere was like. A pretty laid back, beautiful atmosphere. I pray to God I get to see my children get married. That's the same equivalent as to seeing someone give birth. I pray to God one day I become a grandmother. Those are the joyous moments that we remember like it was yesterday. And he's actually coming back from pretty much walking his son, down the aisle, and then all of a sudden, he wants to go and commit himself in that time. Now, who would be the person that could tell you somebody's mind state? Wouldn't it be his wife? His wife would be that's a lady that break bread. That's just like Kelly Davis not knowing about Keith Davis Jr. She's gonna know. That's her husband. That's like Nicole not knowing about Mark. She's gonna know about her husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, you can't make this stuff up. So, who would you check in with? You would check in with the spouse. Oh, sorry, my picture just fell. My brother's like irate right now. He's like, get it. I'm on point with it. But nevertheless, who would you check in first with? You would check in with the spouse, the people that saw him, that was in close connection. You're trying to give a theory that this person committed suicide. And keep in mind that they put on video, there was that they were looking for a black tall guy with a black jacket that had a white stripe across the back. And all the time, and then they held a whole entire family of people under siege, that whole community. When I say family, if you live in the same community, you become family because you get to know your neighbors type of thing. So they held all these people down, wouldn't let them in and out their homes for weeks. And then they put up a ransom, $240,000, something we never heard of. Now, if that's your theory about suicide, that would have been, the first day one. That won't be months later. And then even the detective, and I'll end on this note, I promise you, even the detective that was actually investigating this and was going to bring us some news about Detective Suter, because it didn't set well with him. Guess what happened to him? Y'all can look this stuff up. Hollywood, you couldn't even make this stuff up. But even the detective that was looking at you investigating the Sean Suter case, he was murdered too. Or they said, oh, he killed himself too. I guess killing yourself is a thing, and it ain't no pun because I'm not making no jokes because mental health is real, and my heart goes out to anybody that feel like they gotta take their life. But what I'm saying is, they will go to any levels to try to cover their tracks. You got a guy that was going to testify in hours, gunned down, throw out a ransom money, throw out a sketch of a person that's supposed to kill him, all this foolishness, right? And then he is murdered in cold blood. Then you got an investigator saying, you know what? Something ain't right. I'm ready to give y'all details. I got these notes. I got these notes. Then all of a sudden they say that this person killed himself. It was a double. Not only did he kill himself, they said he killed his wife. I guess she was a witness to the execution. They killed her. They killed him. And they say he killed himself. The end. Like, we got to stop allowing them to sell us anything. And that's all I'm going to say. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Tawanda, when it comes to the list of community violence, Go Hard's going to read that list this evening.
Awesome. So I wanted to check on Marcellus. Do we have any questions or comments?
Yes. So we have a few comments on Facebook, as well as YouTube. Hillary says, mic check, seeing this West Wednesday shared on Tawanda's page and others. Angela and Charlene said, mic check. Charlene on Facebook says, they don't look at the weather when they murder us. That part. Bill says, hi, freedom fighting family. It's wonderful to be here at West Wednesday. Bruce says, good evening, everyone. Charlene says, holding up Evelyn Player's family during this time of tragedy. Charlene also says the donation link for Timothy Fleming. She posted the link for the GoFundMe and for the moving expenses. And never forget Sean Suter's death, 11/16/2017. And on YouTube, AC Britt says awful, referring to the person shot in the church, or killed in the church. The guy that was just exonerated had similar tactics used against him by the state's attorney's office during his trial that they did to Keith, down to lack of DNA, his pants linking him to the case. And then AC Britt also said maybe she meant she was letting the cops go like she did with Freddie Gray. Mic check.
Mic check.
Check.
Wow. Alright, so do anybody from the coalition want to say anything before we go into the sad, horrible homicide list? It's probably not updated for this week. And thanks again, Charlene, for letting us know the victim name. We're praying for her family. And also, hey, Bruce, and thank you guys so much.
Yes, I'd like to say something.
Yes, mic check.
Mic check. Mic check. I want to thank the West Coalition and USIS for last week having a West Wednesday outside and hosting a fundraiser. Yes, we raised some money, and it's going to take a lot more to get it done. So I'm going to need Marilyn Mosby. I'm going to need Brandon Scott. I'm going to need Michael Harrison. I'm going to need Jason Zimmerman, and I'm going to need Gaston Melendez to go to that GoFundMe and add some money to it. I want Marilyn Mosby to stop playing games with Tyrone West's case. Either you're going to reopen a case or you're not. It's that simple. There's no transparency at all when it comes to these politicians in Baltimore City. No. It's 6 months yesterday to the day. Still no autopsy report from my brother. They're saying that the house is part of the investigation, then why are the kids still in that house? Why is the family still in that house? They're saying it's going to be 2 years. I'm still not understanding why it's going to take 2 years. We need answers. I already know they'll probably wait till Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year. I don't know when they're going to wait. They might wait till next year. I know my nephews and my niece have already been through their first Father's Day without their father. They get ready to have their first Thanksgiving, their first Christmas. So again, Marilyn, Brandon, Michael, Jason, Gaston, you guys, while y'all sitting at y'all tables eating y'all Thanksgiving dinners, laughing with y'all families, taking y'all pictures and facing y'all pictures on Facebook, I want y'all to think about my niece Kamaya, my nephew Timothy, and my nephew Christopher. They don't have their father this year. They don't have their father this year. They don't have their father any more years. Any more years. So again, I want to thank you guys again with the fundraiser and helping me and my family. I appreciate you all and I love you guys. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
And I just want to say real quick, sis, we love you too. And this is said that I just feel like I'm reliving my nightmare over again through you. And when I say that, is those exact words that you just said was the exact words, and I even had you on video when we got the devastating news from our state's attorney at the time, which was Greg Bernstein. And we said we hope you enjoy your, your Thanksgiving, your Christmas dinner. We didn't have our life. Nobody family should have to go through what we're going through. And I'm so deeply sorry. I'm so deeply sorry that you are going through this, sister. I am so deeply sorry. Like, it's just unreal. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It really is. And I just want to remind folks that are listening, and when my brother Tyrone was killed back in 2013, Louise, who was the first killer cop to actually start beating and killing my brother, he was a part of the gun trace task force. Nobody wants to talk about that. I believe my whole brother's murder was a complete setup. Everything, including the lady in the car that my brother barely knew. Let's be crystal clear. He didn't even really know this lady. Like, he maybe knew her if it would have been 60 days tops. But literally, he met this young lady literally after he was taking me to work, driving my Mercedes-Benz, a Target, because they were targeting guys, young black guys that had nice cars, thinking that they were drug dealers. They were targeting them, and she straight almost jumped on top of the roof of my car, my brother said that day when he met her. Let's be crystal clear, And I'm just saying this, that the neighborhood that my brother was killed, and one of the witnesses, Mr. Ralph, much respect and love, I remember him actually saying that two cops that favored pretty much to sound like the whole description of Louise and Chapman. They were the first two to sound just like they were knocking on doors around that neighborhood looking for some type of suspect that was not my brother. Nowhere in resemblance or nothing. And they kind of got surprised pretty much when they saw Mr. Ralph come to the door and they saw his wife, who was African American. So they quickly, went on about their business. And then shortly after that, he had to literally look out there and see my brother dead on the gun. Like, this is disgusting. And then for the fact, the only reason I'm bringing up the gun trace task force, because thank God for the, the brilliant people that are working on the gun trace task force that are putting it out for the world to see. Shout out, kudos to them. But the what else can I say? But they're doing a HBO movie, and the spot that they picked to do the movies, guess what? That was the spot where my brother got killed at. That's the first place. On Kentmore Carlsbad, that is going to be featured in the HBO movie that's going to, I guess, talk about Detective Sean Cedar. And then if you guys haven't got the book called Go Get 'Em, I Got a Monster, please get that book. Please get that book. Baynard did a fabulous job of telling how corrupt it was. So I love when they put these jokers out of there. But the fact that I'm just curious as to why did they pick that location? And like I said, I really think my brother's case, and that's why they hid so much of stuff. Like, it was video footage of my brother being murdered in cold blood, and pretty much the guy that got the video from beginning to the end, witnesses said that that he literally moved. When the Commissioner Batts came around at the time, he literally moved 2 days away. So I'm urging anybody that may see this, and I'm hoping that you guys know who the guy is. If you can share this video, I'm asking you, please, whoever has this video of my brother getting murdered in cold blood, I need that video. I've been searching for that, even though I don't ever want to see it, because I would not want to be traumatized like my sister Angela, seeing her brother take his last breath, like Shantae and the family seeing. I don't want to see that. I don't. But I do want the world to see what was going on there. And then maybe, and it's just sad and disgusting that people got to see somebody get tortured. Just like, had it not been for the video of George Floyd having that foot in his neck and screaming, you seeing the light go out of him, and he's screaming for his dead mama. Nobody, that would have been swept under the rug. We went in that pandemic where people were forced to be inside to look at stuff online. That would have been swept. That's because that would have been swept beyond underneath the rug. But because America was watching online, holiday time, people bored, they can't go outside, they stuck in the house type of thing, that is why. And people was like, oh hell no. And it went worldwide. And I think every time these jokers kill us, it need to go worldwide. We need to stand up, shut it down, do what we gotta do to say no more blood. Do what we gotta do. We gotta do what we gotta do. I'm sorry, we have to. Because how many more people? And then it's quarterly that every year, well not even every year, quarterly every other month or so, you hear about a horrible killing of the police, or you hear about a vigilante that want to be a police officer killing one of our brothers and sisters. Let's be crystal clear. Ahmaud Arbery, do I need to say more? And that family got to sit through and hear all these horrible details about how he was pretty much, slaughtered, and these sick bastards videoed it for their own sickness. That's what they do. And these sick killer cops, they probably got that video of them killing my brother. Watch, and they get put. When you talk about serial killers and sadistic, evil, right? Evil people that have sick minds, they get off on stuff like that. They get off on seeing that reliving. They get a thrill. They sick. That's all. They some sick bastards. They probably watching the video over and over again, and they probably even watching the video, getting off on the video of them murdering Timothy Flemings. They get off on stuff like that. And then and on my time frame that I saw literally on this day back in 2014, I was so excited. I'm like, yes, they just passed the law to get body cameras on these killer cops, and then they also had passed the bill, like I said, years ago, about having the bags, right? The super bags, the plastic bags gone or whatever. And that had passed too, but I guess it didn't go through or whatever. Because I think they said Stephen Rollins Blake had vetoed that bill or whatever about the plastic bags. But they were saying about the body camera. But I thought that that was going to be the solution. I was so excited. But again, it's the Doug Capone show. Because even with the videos, they're still killing us. They cut the videos where they want to cut it at. They let us see what they want to see. So what difference is the videos making? Nothing. But again, I still want that video. But it's important though to have the video footage, because even we think about the young man that was gunned down in cold blood. I can't think of his name right now, but he got shot 16 times. And then it wasn't until that video came out of him walking down the street away from them when they gunned him down. He wouldn't have gotten, no, I think his name was Laquan. Yeah, Laquan. So pretty much these videos, they bother me, because without them, we really can't have nothing to stand on. And that's why they hide my brother video. So I urge anybody, please, if you got that video, you can email me. You can email the West Coalition. Pretty much, you can email me, send me a message, whatever. My email address is MissTawanda17 You can send us a message on Justice for Tyrone West. You can inbox me right now. Please, I need that video. I need any footage or pictures, photos, anything that you guys got, because they worked really hard to cover their tracks. But where they messed up was that the same way they were working hard to cover their tracks, I was working real hard to unravel the foolishness. Because while they hid my brother's body for 5 days, ain't no way in hell I'm going to go to a funeral home and let them put in bomb and food without taking my own my videos and my footage. I got stuff. And guess what? It ain't even here in Maryland. So if you think you gonna come do something to me and get it, you got a long way to go, buddy. So I just want to throw that out there. I got so much to do, and the crazy part, Marilyn Mosby sitting on the stuff that I gave her, and she ain't doing nothing. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I think you were speaking of Laquan McDonald from Chicago.
Yes. Thanks, Uncle Bill, for that name. So I want to do a real quick mic check to check in with Marcellus again to see if we got any more additional comments or questions before we get to the horrible sad list.
Yes, so on YouTube, AC Britt says hashtag Timothy Fleming. And on Facebook, Bruce says thanks for the donation link. Angela says just got a donation, thank you. Bruce says several people were asking about where to donate, so I just sent out the link. And Angela says thank you, Bruce. And Charlene, Angela also says thank you, Charlene. And Bruce also says thank you all for organizing the donation drive. And thanks everyone who's a part of that. Putting that together and helping out, a fellow coalition member in need. Thank you. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you. All right, so I guess we're ready, unfortunately, to read this horrible thing list that nobody wants to be a part of. But I just want to tell you guys real quick, and I want you to actually really think about what I'm saying. Please don't wait until your loved one becomes on a list that you never asked for. You don't know how devastating that is. You don't know how it just like your heart is just pretty much, you got your heart snatched out, balled up and pushed back in your chest, and you supposed to survive. That's the feeling that I felt. You feel lifeless. You give up on faith. It's so real. The pain is so devastating that it makes you give up on the Most High, and that's God. I had to repent, pray for forgiveness, all of that, because I was mad at God. It makes you mad at yourself. It makes you mad at everybody. You don't even want to hear a church word or hymn. You don't want to hear none of that. When it's your loved one on this list, your whole entire world is transformed at a blink of an eye. You can't even fathom what you're hearing. You can't, all the wishing, all the praying, all the crying cannot stop what's happened. That is how real and horrible this news is. Just imagine being my friend Kevin, and you're at work, and you're doing whatever you're doing, and you're just enjoying your day. Even if you're having a rough day, you ain't have a rough day yet, a horrible day until you have a horrible day that you can't even wrap your mind around, and you hear about one of your family members being murdered in a church. Are you freaking kidding me? Or it doesn't even matter if they're in a church, but in like this whole entire system has failed us, and I never saw this many homicides, and they're not questioning this commissioner or letting him go because you guys want to give him his money before he even do his job. That's like paying me my whole salary in advance, and knowing that this system is failing. That shows us how much you give a damn about us. They don't give a damn about us. They don't. And they walk around, they go right back and smile and sit with their family members, while we get these horrible lists week after week, and it's not stopping. And all the media can tell you is, we're outweighing this number. We're out. Nobody wants to hear that. But again, as our sister, I call her Go Hard, as she reads this horrible list of all the homicides in our city, and I guarantee you, this is not the latest. This is what they want us to know. Just imagine if you get that call, or if it's your loved one, how would you feel? What would you do? I got that call on a West Wednesday morning, never will forget it. Just at night, at 11:30, I'm on 11 o'clock news. And I watched me go off at 11:30. and I'm resting and I'm feeling accomplished because guess what? Louise Dirty A was back under the bus again. You know, and they got my point of view, and I'm like, yes, he's gonna fry. Yes, good. I'm glad he's back out there at school, but they got 18 additional complaints. I mean, 18 victims that we didn't even know about, including the six. And he's still walking around the Maryland Motor ain't doing a goddamn thing. He get to marry Michelle Battle in the state's attorney's office. They some sick bastards, all of them. But I'm getting joyous. I'm feeling joyous. I'm like, yeah, something's gonna happen. Maybe, you know, this time something's gonna happen. And I laid my head down on my pillow, and it wasn't even a half hour later when my cousin Jamie called me crying her eyes out, telling me my loved one was murdered or just shot, and we still 6-7 months later have no freaking answer. I'm gonna keep saying my cousin Tavon Anderson name until we get the truth of what happened. And everybody's a goddamn suspect, and I'm starting at the pig's house list. So as we hear this list, you don't want to be resting your head on a pillow and you get sick news or no news about your loved one. And in my brother's case, I got no news. It was by the grace of God, like the video said. I didn't know what my body was showing me. It was like my brother was showing me all the pain he was going through. I'm feeling pain in my body. That wasn't made up. That was real. I'm calling my family, telling them something wasn't right. That was real. You can't make this up. So as we listen to this list, I want us to take 2 minutes now because we're going to hear a sad police brutality list that will be read by Uncle Bill. And Serafina will be reading, Miss Gohart will be reading our homicide list. But it's just sad. Too many people are dying. And at the end of the day, guess what? You're not even safe if you're elderly. You're not safe if you're a teenager. You're not safe if you're a father, brother, single, you're not safe. You're not safe. And it's sickening. It's devastating. So let's take these 2 minutes to really think what we need to do. And I think we need to shut City Hall down. That's why they're not open up right now. They're playing this pandemic game because they don't want us out there. They know that this city is going down in hell. They know and they don't give a damn. That's why they're using this pandemic to silence us and trying to do all this bull crap online. Every time they hear something online, we need to show up like how we did when Marilyn Moore and them had that chat and shoot. We was outside chatting and shooting. The hell with them. That's how we need to do it. Shut it down. That's what we need to do. That's exactly what we need to do. So take these 2 minutes and whatever y'all can think of, ways that we can shut it down, ways that, why in the world is my sister Angela still waiting 6 months later for her brother autopsy report? And they claim that they're cleaning up the medical examiner's office, they filing not in there no more. They still doing the same thing, y'all. The same thing. The same exact thing. And we believe the gun trace task force not here no more. We don't believe that they still planting drugs on our sisters and brothers. We still don't believe that they lying on these autopsy reports. Like, why is we still waiting for my brother's autopsy report? Timothy Fleming's autopsy report should have been given to them the next day. If not the same day that they murdered him in cold blood. Why are we waiting? So I want you guys for these 2 minutes to really think of ways that we can shut it down. Y'all pray. I want y'all to take some moment to pray because I do prayer work. So you pray. But then I want you to, in your mind, think of the ways we can shut it down and get our answers. Think of those ways and hit me up. Mic check. Let's take 2 minutes, guys.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Starting now. Thank you guys so much for the 2 minutes. Definitely totally appreciate you guys. And again, we need to shut stuff down. Like we need answers. Like we need to really be organized and effective to actually like let them know we're not going for this Doug and Pony show. We're not going for this Doug and Pony show. No longer is this acceptable. It has never been acceptable. And no longer we're gonna tolerate this horrible foolishness. Like so since we're ready for you, unfortunately, this name, and keep in mind, this could be your loved one. Just get closer and closer to somebody's home. If it's not even in your home. So again, my heart goes out, my prayers go out. If there's anybody on these lists that you guys know and you want to get in contact with me, whatever way I can help, please use me. I'm being more than a support system. Whatever way you need me, I'm there for you guys. My check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
My check.
So 7 people that we know of were murdered in Baltimore City this week. Raphael Heffers, 33.
Raphael Heffers.
At first.
33.
Javier Cotto, 44.
Javier Cotto.
Okay.
Anthony Rollins, 46.
Anthony Rollins.
46.
Devin Benton, 35.
Devin Benton.
35.
Dante Hill, 32.
Dante Hill. 32.
Carlos Smith, 30.
Carlos Smith, 30.
Philip Hayes, 40.
Philip
Hayes.
40.
And that's all on your list, sis.
And that's all.
Yeah, so we know that it's not updated because again, we had a beautiful queen murdered in the church, 69 years old, and I did not hear her name. So again, praying for that family, praying for all the family members that we just heard. I'm deeply sorry for you guys' loss. Just at the end of the day, I know I feel like you believe that this is like really challenging your faith, but continue on believe because God does have final last say so, and God will get you through this. He's the only one, my only strength, the only one that can actually get you through this. But I actually recommend that you guys start counseling, therapy, immediately, because that will help. Because it's like my counselor had told me after my brother was hurt, I was like, oh, I don't want to go through counseling. I thought counseling like crazy people didn't have it all that type of thing. Totally wrong. It taught me how to know what my triggers was. It taught me how to start my new life because again, when your loved one is hurting, your life ends being the way it was with your loved one, being there or whatever difficulties, challenges that you might have been facing. But it's really, really devastating when you come to a tremendous loss such as your family members. It's full of praying like it's a lot. So I encourage counseling, mental health matters. So again, Uncle Bill, do you have the police brutality list?
Yes, I do. And I want to make a few remarks before I read the list. First, I spoke to the fiance of Timothy Fleming this morning, and she's very thankful that we were able to raise the money to make the move more possible. It's not going to be easy because, as we know in Baltimore, there's such a tremendous number of people, thousands and thousands, who need housing, so that the HUD voucher list has been shut down. They don't let anyone new onto this list. And if you're on the list, if you're lucky, then it's like a 5-year or 7-year wait to get a place. So it's going to be a tough project finding a place that's affordable, but she's working on that. Secondly, I want to mention that as we know, there are 2 important trials going on now. There's the trial of the killers of Ahmaud Arbery, and there's the trial of Kyle McDonald for killing 2 people and seriously injuring another who were protesting police brutality. And in both of those cases, In both of those cases, there's only a single black person on the jury. Identical in both cases. And in the trial for the killers of Ahmaud Arbery, the county where that trial is taking place is around 25 or 30% African American, and yet they only have one person on that jury. In the case of the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, the judge said, you may not speak of the people that were killed as victims. You can call them, he said, you can call them rioters or looters and things like that, but you can't call them victims. And at one point during the trial, the judge's cell phone went off, and his ringtone was the song that they play at the beginning of the Trump rallies. That's the judge.
Wow.
But I think it's also good to recognize that these like Trump gutter racists are not the only enemy. So in the case of Maryland, for example, we know that starting recently, there's a new division of the Attorney General's office, which is going to investigate each police killing. From now on, they've already started investigations of several. And the Attorney General, who's a liberal, Frosch, he brought in the woman to be the head of this new unit, whose name is Dana Mulhauser, and her previous position was doing the same thing in St. Louis. And in St. Louis, about a year ago, under her leadership, they decided they would reopen the case of Michael Brown. And after a long period of time investigating, under her leadership, they decided we're not going to prosecute the cop, Darren Wilson, that killed Mike Brown. That's who this liberal Frost brought in to head this same kind of unit here in Maryland. So the open racists and the liberal politicians, in my mind, are both guilty of the continuing systemic racism that we face. On the list of people killed by the police, we only have 3 new days. We have November the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Excuse me. I may have mentioned one of these names previously, but I want to start with the 7th. There were 3 people killed by police on November the 7th. And if we can uphold their names, and if you could repeat after me, that would be wonderful. The first was in Union Township, Pennsylvania, 40 years old, killed on November the 7th, Andrew Zwanchik.
Andrew Zwanchik.
One sec. Also on November the 7th, this time in Goodview, Virginia, killed by police, 29-year-old woman, Chelsea Clevenger Kirk.
Chelsea Clevenger Kirk.
Third killing by police on November the 7th in Knowlton Township, New Jersey. This person has not yet been identified. That's all we know. It was a man, Ashe. Killed on November the 8th in Renton, Washington. They don't have the age and not yet identified. Ashe. Killed by police in Monteagle, Tennessee, 50 years old, a woman, Angie McFarland.
Angie McFarland.
And for this evening, we'd like to uphold the name of a man killed in Boston, Massachusetts. This was on November the 9th. At this point in time, unidentified. Ashe. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you again, Uncle Bill, and thank you, Gohar, for reading those horrible lists. And again, I'm praying for those families, you know, because nobody wants to wake up and say, you know what, I want my loved one to be murdered or anything. So it's just horrible, like, you know. But the only difference between police brutality and community violence is in police brutality, we know who the hell the killers are. We know what they did, and if they get any time, they hardly get time at all. They get promotion. They kill us, we get a paid vacation while they so-called investigate. They don't get an interrogation, they get an interview. You know, they get to come down with their attorneys, they don't even get arrested, so this is horrible. And I'm glad that Uncle Bill pretty much put out there the type of world that we're living in. You know, the KKK used to pretty much come out with their all white on. Now they replaced them with judge robes. They replaced them with blue uniforms. I call it the Blue Klux Klan. You know, but we gotta think about all these races that are pretty much in office and they're doing whatever they want to do, and they ain't giving us no justice. It's just us. It's just sad. And at one point, I believed in the judicial system. I really did. I'm like, you know, I figured that, like I used to always say, it's broke, you know. But it's working fine. It never been, you know. Anytime that we could be put up, pretty much, you could take and make us out of a slave, and nobody get held accountable. We get no reparations. We get nothing. I mean, we were tortured. We even get wiped out of the histories in our school books. They tell us who they want us to look at as heroes, and half the people, like all of our black people, should be looked upon as heroes. The work that we're doing now is heroic. We are heroes, but it's just sad and unfortunately that we don't get our roses and flowers while we're here. It's just always when something tragic happens. You know, then they want to uplift somebody's damn name. That makes me sick to the pit of my stomach. You know, people won't even go see their loved ones that live in the same community, but God forbid they get murdered or they got a funeral to go to. They'll travel miles to come to a funeral, but they won't even go and call, pick up the phone just to say, hello, how you doing? Can I help you with something? And it's sad and disgusting, but that's our reality. And we have people that's supposed to, that can actually have a grab one in their hand to determine somebody's fate. That's a racist that don't give a damn. We're in 2021, and you only got one black person in the jury trial that's going to be for our peers, and then pretty much predominant black community. That is disgraceful. That's disgusting. Like, literally, when I went, and I thank God for the coalition members that were able to go to recently, we went to see about killing David Lewis, the one that put the foot in my brother's neck. That's why my foot all on his neck. I might show up at that Joker baby shower, funeral, wherever. I'm showing up, buddy. You never know when I'm going to show up. That's I ain't mean to say funeral, but I just meant to be anyway. He never know where I will show up at. That's my whole point. None of those killer cops know. None of those killer cops know. I can't be with my brother. Guess what? I'm going to be with y'all. I'm going to spend all my good time that I spend every day with Mr. West, you know, living my life, enjoying it with my big brother. I'm going to spend it with y'all. I'm going to spend it with y'all. Trust and believe me. Y'all see, I ain't going nowhere. But like I said, it's said that when a person is here, nobody offers them no support, no help, no nothing. Because I have not sold my soul yet. I don't get no support, no help, nothing. Okay? Nothing. Nothing. Robbing Peter to pay Paul, doing my damn thing. But guess what? I do all that and plus some before I sell my damn soul. Before I start fighting for our people. But it's sad, like I said, and the crazy part, they put hits on people that do work, groundwork. You know, a couple of our State Street guys that were executed this year, you still ain't catching about when they plant people and say that they call people and press charges on people, like just like Keith Davis Jr. going down for something that he didn't do. So you gotta question your own mind. Right, and say, dang, did this person, you gotta be your own conscious consumer, is what I'm trying to say. Because you can't believe what the media said. You know what I'm saying. You know, and it's crazy because I just had, like, Adina, I love that queen, she just clicked something in my brain when I was saying about the killers that murdered Malcolm X or whatever. But again, she clicked a fire in my brain to let me know we could be doing the same thing that they did to Keith. With those people playing it and said we killed Malcolm X, and they probably innocent. So let's do our own research before we actually, you know, throw somebody in a jail cell or throw them in the pits of hell. Let's be our own conscious consumers. But again, enough is enough. I'm just tired of everything that's going on. This is sad, but again, give people their flowers while they're here. Give them help while they need. Just be that ear to somebody believing. I see so much of stuff, and I'll end on this note. And I hate that I can't control my tongue. When I see something that's not right, I don't give a damn if you're a coach. I don't give a damn who you are. If I see something that ain't right, I'm gonna call you out, bro or sis. I'm gonna call you out. If that means you don't like me, if that means whatever, I don't care. I love the babies. I love the world. I love people. So if you're not doing right, don't do wrong around me. I'm not the right person for you to do something or hurt somebody feeling, do some old pretty stuff. I'm gonna throw you under the bus. I'm gonna check you. You ain't gotta worry about the person doing something wrong to. I catch a lot of hell because I see stuff that don't be right, that don't even be my battle. And I step up to it, and then I gotta catch the repercussions. But guess what? Hey, this is not my assignment. God made me who I am, so I thank God for being who I am. But again, don't let these people assassinate us before they want to give us roses. God forbid something happen to me. I don't want a damn street named after me. I don't want none of that. Keep your phoniness. I can't get my street now while I'm alive. Keep that. Turn these streets up. That's what don't believe that I got murdered. Don't believe that, oh, it was an unsolved homicide. She was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Oh, she choked. Oh, this. No, tear it down. City to city, state to state. Like real talk. Like, because enough. They keep murdering us, and all we keep doing is just singing kumbaya and shutting it down for a little bit and moving on. They move on to the next one. I guarantee you, before this year out, we're gonna hear about some more devastating news. It's sad to say, we're gonna hear about somebody that was important and pretty much just got murdered. And we're like, oh my goodness, then everybody want to talk about them. They even see about 3,000 posts on Facebook where people posting a picture with the person. Give the person their flowers now. Be your own conscious consumer. Remember, live to love to live. I love you all. Our brother Ben is going to take us out with a video. And before I go, I want to check in one time with our brother Marcel. Just to anybody else left a comment or a remark. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So we have a few comments on YouTube. AC Britt says Rittenhouse, that judge is despicable, and AC Britt says same to you, Charlene, and fire. Angela says same shit, different day. Charlene says love and light to you, Adina. Hillary says Tawanda Jones, our truth speaking hero, and Angela agrees with that. Mic check. And I have a small announcement as well.
Sure, absolutely. Mic check.
Mic check. So I will be leading the Sea Dog discussion tonight. The topic for the Sea Dog discussion is the party and revolution, and we're going to be touching on how the economic crisis shows the need for revolution. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
And now we'll be going down at 9 o'clock p.m. tonight.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, you said 9, right?
9 o'clock. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so make sure you want to grab something to eat. So you pay something like myself, make sure you grab something to eat, and if you can, join us there. And the only reason why I'm always there, even though I'm tired, and I really don't, to be honest, I do not feel like it at all. But I will be there for a little bit because it's very important to me, because this system has to go. By all means, like, something got to give. So I do believe in doing things respectively, and I'm praying that I can just be that voice that breaks through before stuff breaks off, because I don't want to see people get hurt. I was like, when the uprising happened, I was like in tears, like seeing this stuff unfold right before my eyes, seeing people with their bodies on the line that they could have been hurt and who they want. I don't like stuff like that. I talk it, but I don't like stuff like that. Like I said, go hard or go home. When that stuff was happening, everybody know I went home. I was on my couch praying for people and all that. But it's gonna come a time that I'm not gonna be on my couch. It's gonna come a time that I'm gonna be right out there with them, get that close. But I'm praying that somebody of power here's my prize, right? Here, our prize, because our prize. As a city that's hurting, a city that's in pain, and they actually do something. All this unsolved foolishness, you solve what you want to solve. Everybody hearing about loved ones getting murdered every night, whether it's by a police officer or somebody on the street. Something needs to give. Enough is enough. So I'm praying that somebody power hear my cries right now and do something. Like, we don't need stuff like chew up and all. We don't need that. We need healing. We already done hurt people, are hurting cities. We need healing. We need help. Right now, I'm praying that somebody reach out to Timothy Fleming's family. There's nowhere in the world that his fiance, and I'm sorry if I said it right, but if you've been involved in somebody in a relationship for as long as her and Timothy been together, it's called common law of a fight. So I'm gonna call that queen his wife. Rather she say she's fiance, that was his wife. You know, that was a person that he had children by, that loved him, and he loved her. No, but anyway, moving right on. We just need answers right now. And I'm just praying that, like, there's no way in hell, there's no way in hell that we done got this far to raise up money to get them babies out the house, and you need to tell me that, oh, she gotta wait. No, we need to find out who and start calling. We need to start, okay, we got the dollars now. Now our next focus should be calling whoever Shannon's person is. I don't know the name that would be representing her, housing or HUD or whatever it is. We need to be calling her the person in charge and saying, look, these babies gotta go. Now this is beyond an emergency. So we're not trying to hear them wait for 2 months, 2 years, none of that. We need to find out. I want my sister to please, sister, you hear me tonight, get with Shannon and find out who she talks to at her housing. And we need to all talk to them as a coalition. The same way you got to put the dollars, now you guys have to put your time in, call them and say them children gone. That they need to change that process. Right now, we're not trying to hear it. We didn't get this far to be setting them babies set there a whole nother month or two and on to next year. And we done got one spring. We ain't trying to do none of that foolishness. So the next step is make sure you get information. If I got a hit, once you get that information, I got the mayor's phone number, personal number, and I never put it on there. But when you get that information, give that to me, because I'm going to make sure I send them a long text message to say, look, buddy, you should have been the one doing this, but this is what you got to do. Call Miss whoever or Mr. So-and-so and tell them new children need to be out their house like now. So get that information to me, and that's my next step. I'm going to put it in the right hands and make sure that they, whatever that process, that bull crap, wait, we ain't doing none of that. Get the number, get the list, and we on it.
There you go.
I was on it when Uncle Bill said it.
That's a bunch of
I was on it when Uncle Bill said it because I spoke with Shannon and she didn't tell me any of that. So yeah, I'm on it.
Okay, yeah, thank you, sister. We on it. So guys, I will be tuning you guys in. I want you guys to tune in, but I will be updating you as soon as we get that information. I'm gonna make sure I hit the mayor out personally. I'm gonna hit up our elected officials and tell them they have to do something now. We're gonna push that. So that little waiting, that's over with. The next step is actually they're gonna her this is an emergency situation. Those babies need to be out that house like ASAP. Even if they have to put them into a hotel, a nice hotel of you guys choosing or whatever Shannon is comfortable while they search for us. We not waiting on a wait list. Some babies are not gonna wait in that damn house another month or two and be traumatized. Ain't no way in hell. And even if I got man, it's on it pop. Give me that information. We're gonna take it a step further. Okay, thank y'all guys for the money. That's cool. But now we need real steps. Cause apparently this money don't even mean nothing. This money gotta sit there, guys, and just sit and wait or pile up. Y'all keep putting money in the pot, but we ain't doing nothing with the money. That's just like I'm sitting up here telling y'all I'm hungry right now. And y'all got all this money, but ain't nobody ordering me my cheesesteak and fries. I ain't trying to hear nothing. I ain't trying to hear nothing.
Right, sis.
That ain't even acceptable. We ain't trying to hear about no list, none of that. We need to know who she talking to, and we gonna have them kids on. I guarantee you by next month. If we gotta start doing West Wednesday in front of that building of where the person in charge tell us that she gotta wait another day or two in that house where her husband was murdered at, and children gotta be in that damn house. Oh no, it's on and popping. Please give me that information ASAP. So again, guys, thank you for your time. Please be on the lookout for our next. We ready to start doing some outdoor actions ASAP, because again, Marilyn Mosley will not go a whole nother year. All I want her to do, send me on my way, put it in black and white, and she not gonna do nothing. Because apparently we know she not gonna do nothing, because she ain't do. That's common sense. But the process says, if it ain't in black and white, it don't count. I want it in black and white, and I can move right on. We ain't gotta say, nah, I ain't gotta mention her name no more. She ain't gotta think about my name or anything. It is what it is. Put it in black and white. We're gonna move on. So I'm gonna get that notation from her in black and white before the end of this year. I only got what, like another month or two, month and a half left before this year go out. I'm not trying to hear none of that. So again, our next campaign is turning up on whoever's gonna try to tell us them kids gotta wait in a HUD house for another. I'm not trying to hear none of that. So we're gonna be taking care of that, and we're gonna be taking care of pushing up the pressure on Marilyn Mosley to give me a notation saying that I am not going to do anything for the West family. I will not prosecute those killer cops. The end. She can make it simple and sweet. The end. So that's how we voting out for the new year. Those my two goals right there.
That's right, Marilyn Mosley. You hear her?
Yeah, right there. Two goals. We getting that letter from Marilyn Mosley in black and white that she not going to reopen my brother's case. Fine and dandy. It is what it is. But again, Marilyn Mosley, Tyrone West could be one of your loved ones. You know the corruption. You know the dirt. Don't play the game. End the game. Okay? Game over. That's what I'm on. Game over. We're not playing this Doug and Pony show no more. We done with it. So again, just give me the information. I'm gonna make sure I give it to our man. And demand that he do something ASAP. So give me the information, and I gotta give my brother a call ASAP. I have to. So get the information, and then again, we'll be like figuring out what we're gonna do for next up to get this notation from Marilyn Mosley. Thank you guys for your time. Live to love, love to live. I love you all. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Check.
Occur in Baltimore City before share a phone with you. I just wanted to share a phone with you guys.
I got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me. The devil heard I got a message, so he's trying to disconnect me. The mayor said, do the right thing, Doc. So here I am trying to heal the hood. I brought some cameras and my consciousness, a script challenging politics. Didn't need to practice, man, I swear that I was Iverson. Bedford Stuyvesant lives within them. Cops poison the streets with venom, counteract like penicillin. You see, this pen is healing, but Lee, he had a vision. The heat was cataclysmic, metaphoric of the violent nature cops create in the streets. Let's take it back to Howard Beach, Southern Queens, 1986. To this day, it still makes me sick. One black man killed. They hit him with a car, he who did his that was a cop. So the charges got dropped, robbed him of his right to live. Kill a Negro, be a hero, brother, that's just how it is. Rest in peace to Michael Griffin. But the struggle goes on, Pete. My boy Raheem, we nicknamed him Radio. His boombox is a blessing. Played his message through a stereo to our hood. An angel amplified through God's plans. I swear to God, he was God's right hand, symbolizing the black man with a message. Love and hate. Wherever one is, you're sure to find another. Just like Cain and Abel, one incline to kill the other. Yin and yang on both hands, a combo in effect. He could embrace you with a fist, or treat you with respect. 2 slices of pizza, and I want extra cheese. Big salad, GOP, it makes no difference to me. Stuffing folks hoping our hearts and pizza down our throats, taking money out the ghetto. Us communists shouldn't meddle with the status quo. Oh, hell no. We want some brothers on the wall.
Right.
You come to our neighborhoods, we eat here, and we can't get any brothers on the wall. It seems like South Pizzeria is the House of Representatives with the lack of care and cold stands. They invaded us with no fear. There's no fear in the art of war. So when I pick up my gun to protect my son, don't look at me like I'm crazy.
That's right.
Because I told you. body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Devil heard I got a message, so he's trying to disconnect me. Nah. History repeats itself and that's just how it goes. Same way that these cops always take my brother's souls. Same thing Darren Wilson did to Mike Brown, yeah we know. Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Amadou Diallo. While silly white kids argue over who doesn't see color. Look around, Billy, man, they killing all my brothers. They justify our death saying that we kill each other. Sit around, enjoy your privilege while I console my mother. No playing, my life's no joke, and that's true-ish. Same rope they hung us on, we tie our shoes with. But not today, I pray no graves be paid, cause I came to bring the change, we ain't stupid.
That's right.
Yes.
Say it, brother.
So when I pick up my gun to protect my son, don't look at me like I'm crazy. Because I told you. I got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Anybody?
I got you.
Please.
I got you.